All right, everybody. The Yankees officially acquired Juan Soto. They did it. When we finished recording on Wednesday morning, the deal seemed imminent. I think everyone was expecting this to happen. It was taking a while. Medicals seemed to be the holdup. We're all thinking Michael King's elbow is the thing that was going to sink this deal, possibly.
I'm getting Cliff Lee flashbacks of trades that didn't happen.
And I don't know if the Padres were eventually like, you know what, let's just look the other way, or if they think his elbow is clean, or I don't know. I don't really care.
I don't think it was actually much about that. I was listening to, I stayed up late last night and watched Hot Stove. I was ready to record last night at 11:30. You were nowhere to be found. I knew.
I was asleep.
I knew that I was sent a text. I was like, maybe he'll get a notification for the text. I know he won't get it for the group. Probably not, but I'm going to send it anyway.
No.
And, I got what I was expecting. I was willing to come on. I was willing to do it, for the record. But anyway, I was watching Hot Stove, and what were we just talking about? I just completely lost it. That's
Michael King
out of my brain.
Michael King's elbow.
Oh, the medicals. They were saying that the GM for the Padres had some like scouting dinner or something, and from like 6:30 to 8, and he was unavailable. Just couldn't get it.
Offline.
So everybody's like, the medicals. It's just,
they got us out of
medicals.
Office.
The guy was just not by his phone. He was just doing something. He was just busy.
Okay.
You know?
And that's what held up the deal a few extra hours until the wee hours of the night. Yeah, man. I mean, I saw your text this morning. By the way, I was up at 5:30 because that's what I do. I would have recorded at 5:45 this morning if you. I would have
done that too. We could record the show at 5:45 in the mornings if you want. I'm good.
The problem is Harrison wakes up at 6 o'clock on the dot.
Okay, well, we talked for more than 15 minutes. That is documented.
Yeah. So yeah, I was not staying up for that news. I was fully expecting the news to happen all day, and then it just kept dragging on. The deal's official: Juan Soto and Trent Grisham to the Yankees for Michael King, Drew Thorpe, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, and Kyle Higashioka. A blockbuster trade. So the Yankees are obviously getting the top player on the trade block. Call it second best player behind Shohei Ohtani available this winter. Although I think based on our GM plans, we identified Soto as the better fit for the Yankees this offseason over Shohei Ohtani.
Hey, look at us! Good for us. We're
good for us. We
predicted something.
Is this the first?
I was a little upset that you guys did the same thing so that we could bask in our glory. But I guess we'll do it together.
Is that so? This isn't the first GM plan that ended up coming to fruition, because I remember I signed Adam Ottavino in my offseason plan, and then the Yankees signed him. But
cool. How'd that work out? Thank you so much for that.
Oh, whatever. But it's just like that wasn't anything revolutionary. I don't know if Juan Soto is revolutionary, but going into this winter, were you actually expecting the Yankees to get a deal done for Soto, or did you just expect them to be in the talks for Soto, but then him to be traded to some other team? Because maybe the cynic in me, that's what I expected.
No, I really did expect them to go after him hard, and the fit was so perfect. And reading the tea leaves, like when we were doing the GM, all the prep for the GM episode, everything that Ilya and I found was that San Diego was looking for young pitching, and the Yankees just matched up perfectly with what they needed, and they needed catching, obviously, and we're chock full of catchers. So like, I think we both had Higgy non-tendered, but I mean, this is the same thing essentially. He's not on the roster at the end of the day. Like that's what we were looking at. I think in ours we had another reliever coming over. They have a young reliever over there, but he was controlled. That was kind of a pipe dream. I think we threw in some extra prospects to sweeten that. Our deal that we put together included Clark Schmidt, but it also included Pereira, and we might have put Peraza in there, to be honest, because Peraza's value is a mystery at this point. But so I was actually a little surprised, to be honest, that this was what got it done completely. But obviously Michael King is the high valued player there, and we didn't have him in our deal, so we had to pay a little extra with adding Clark Schmidt.
I mean, I don't know if it's because I didn't expect Michael King to get dealt this winter. I didn't think he would have enough value on the market, but clearly what he showed in the last month and a half of the season skyrocketed his value to a point where teams are identifying him as a legit rotation piece. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but come on, if we rewind 4 months, if you're saying, yeah, Michael King is going to be the headliner of a deal for Juan Soto, everyone would have signed up for that.
Hey, when Logan brought that up yesterday, I wasn't really thinking about that. It was a great point by Logan. Honestly, and some credit I think has to go if the Yankees been so very very willing to shit all over the Yankees. I got to go to the other side, right? Got to be fair in this regard, in the sense that if they were playing chess, if they were looking down the road, there's a lot of things, and yeah, maybe that's giving them a little bit more credit, but maybe it's not. Who knows? If they were lining up Michael King to put him in the rotation and betting on him to show as a starter like this, with the intention that, hey, now we're adding a very valuable piece to to trade talks around the league, looking at Soto being available, looking at other folks available. But when I saw that 30, whatever the loan that the Padres took out, I think everybody realized that
50 million.
50 million. The Padres were going to be selling Juan Soto specifically at the deadline, and the Yankees were positioned really, really well, and he just fit exactly what they needed. So it was a match made in heaven. Honestly, it was a perfect scenario. And from listening to what the GM of the Padres was saying yesterday after the deal was done, was that Brian Cashman came and he was very aggressive. He was very to the point, saying, we want this player. We're going to do this. So all the talk of,
it's like a mob bus going in. We are going to do this.
Well, all the talk of the Yankees balking at Michael King, maybe that's not really even true. Maybe they were just like, if that's what it's going to do, if that's what it's going to take to get it done, let's get it done.
Who do you think they would have rather traded, Clark Schmidt or Michael King?
I think they would have rather traded Clark Schmidt, no doubt about it. But the upside is what you look at, I guess, with King. There's definitely more inherent risk though,
Yep.
with his health and the fact that he's going to be limited, whereas Schmidt is going to be, the results may not be there as much, but you're going to get more bulk out of him next year, if you're looking at just next year.
And I thought more about
King
this.
is 2 years control. 2 years control.
2 years.
So it's only one more year of control than Juan Soto. So at the end of the day, what are we doing? You're looking at 1 year of control of Michael King
and Thorpe.
Okay, fine, but we both are on the same page with Yankees minor league pitching. It's like, okay, maybe he could be good, but very very possibly, if he stays in the Yankees organization, he won't be.
The Yankees farm system, obviously Dominguez and Volpe is not considered a prospect anymore, but outside of Dominguez, I feel like it's filled with a bunch of quality prospects, but there's not like a blue chip prospect where you would say absolutely untouchable.
Spencer Jones.
Is he untouchable?
I don't know if he's untouchable, but I would call him the blue chip prospect of the Yankees. And
what is he ranked in the MLB pipe? What is he where is he ranked in the top 100? Because Thorpe, the most recent rankings was 99th. Okay. 99th. Could he turn into a stud pitcher? Sure. But we're talking about the 99th overall baseball prospect here for a top 3 player in Major League Baseball to add to a team that needs to win now. You need to win now.
And has one of the other 3 top 3 baseball players.
You now have 2 of the top 3 position players in baseball. You have one of the top 3 starting pitchers in baseball. You need to win now. I understand you're trading away some pieces that might be able to help you in the next 3 to 5 years, but I am trying to win the 2024 World Series if I'm the Yankees. You have to, with how this team is set up.
Of course you do. And you have to respond from last year. This is a direct response to last year. This is 08. This is 08, 09 all over again. That's exactly, especially if they get Yamamoto. Like,
here's where I distinguish the two. And I think we talked about this on last week's episode where we talked about how the Yankees react to missing the postseason. What they were trying to do in 09 was recapture the past and one more run with the core 4 guys, right? That's what they were doing. This team hasn't won shit. You're still trying to break through with the Aaron Judge era of the New York Yankees, and you haven't been able to do that.
Well, I mean, you're never gonna duplicate what the 90s into the
I'm not talking about
early 2000s. No, I'm saying the success. But when you look at the response from missing playoffs, the response to a very big down season, like
going
this,
for a big winter. Yeah.
If you're looking at historicals, this is a pretty good comp to what Cashman is doing. He's addressing the problem through free agents. He's addressing the problem with I threw out on Twitter 3 guys that were on contract years, Verdugo, Soto, and
Glaber.
Torres. But Rizzo also is on a contract year, right? So
yep.
Dumb me, forgot to put in Rizzo there.
But also Rizzo has an option that the Yankees could pick up. So
he does have an option for the third year.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's a lot of guys that have high ceilings that are playing for big money for their career, and that's a great thing if you want to for a one season scenario, right? For looking at next year, because that's what we have to do. We have to look at next year.
Soto's not playing for a big contract. He's going to get a big contract.
He's going to get a big contract. I understand.
Glaber and Verdugo definitely playing for a contract, and I think with Rizzo, I'm assuming he would want to stay with the Yankees and sort of just ride out his career. He does have an option. Okay, so also Spencer Jones, 73rd overall in baseball, and as I said, Thorpe is 99th. So definitely. And then when you add Michael King to that as well, who we think can be a valuable rotation piece, like I'm not saying you gave up peanuts for Juan Soto.
It didn't break the back though.
But I'm not crying over these prospects lost, even if they turn out to be, great players. You're trading for a player who you are expecting to be an MVP caliber player in 2024. This is not trading for this is not like a trade where you're like, well, I hope this guy pans out, and then if the guy we traded away pans out, then egg on our face. No, like this is Juan Soto we're trading for
sure. And a lot of I thought I heard this. I don't know if it was just me hearing things in the wind or reading bullshit Twitter accounts, because I can't tell what's real and what's not on that platform anymore, even though I've been having some fun on there in the last week or so. That Soto was, through Boris talking about that he'd like to hit in the 3 spot. So I don't know if that's a thing. And Judge didn't hit in the 2. Yeah, I mean you're right there with Judge, but you hit in the 3 spot. Like this is going to be the first. Soto's had protection. Soto's had protection in San Diego. You have Machado, you have Tatis, you have really good a lineup in San Diego. So we've seen him with protection on that side. But Aaron Judge hasn't had protection, not like this. If you hit Soto 3 and you're hitting Judge 2, Judge has never.
What's the best protection Judge has had in his career? Probably 2018.
Probably Stanton when he was actually hitting the ball.
2018 Stanton probably.
And he struck out a lot too. So, but Soto is a different level. It's a different level, and it's a lefty bat too. So, I mean, they're going to get a true lefty righty in their lineup on a daily basis. They have plenty of options now to do that. So Boone is like, again, here's the keys to the Ferrari, Boone. Don't fuck it up. But
Judge and Soto, whether they're Judge is first or Soto is first in the lineup, whatever, this is Ortiz Manny.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of a lineup. You are the opposing team is counting the number of at-bats until they come up again and saying, well, this is the 8th hitter. He better damn well not get on base because we've got Judge and Soto coming up soon. And if they're up with runners on base, we're fucked. That is the type of core those two players are in a lineup.
And the more I think about, obviously the other piece here is that seemingly Verdugo is staying. Verdugo is going to be the.
I have a couple things on him, but yeah, keep going.
And if he's the left fielder, I know yesterday I was like, I don't see him as a 3. I've come around on that. Like I'm definitely processing all of this stuff in my head, Verdugo specifically. And I was talking to my brother last night too. He had listened to our show and heard as I, both of us kind of talked ourselves into Verdugo yesterday a little bit more, but him in that left field spot. And, the metrics are saying that he's an average defender. Everybody's talking about him as a plus defender. Everybody in baseball is talking about him as a plus defender in the corner. So if he's going out in left field, there's a very good spot that you see him batting leadoff. You have Volpe probably in that 9 spot. If you get an uptick from Volpe, which I fully expect an offensive improvement, like a significant offensive improvement from Volpe, you basically are having the lineup turnover with Volpe, young guy in the 9 spot, which essentially acts as another leadoff, Verdugo hitting leadoff, and then Judge and Soto, and then do whatever you want after that. But that's a dynamic lineup.
You kind of put whoever is if Rizzo is hitting like he was in the first 2 months of the season, you stick him there. If Glaber is being consistent, you stick him there. If Stanton is actually Stanton-ish, then you stick him there.
DJ even could turn the lineup over a little bit more too, and to set it up.
They might also do some platoon stuff depending on the starting pitcher. If DJ is going to be leading off, or if Verdugo, or if Volpe, again, like I know I've talked about this in the past, and you give me shit for it, but like I don't hate Rizzo as a leadoff option, and especially if Soto does want to hit third, and you go Rizzo, Judge, Soto to start the game, like that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Judge and Soto now, I don't care who's leadoff as long as you get on base in some capacity.
Mhm.
Just get on base. And yeah, there's going to be, we know how Boone likes to play with his lineups 100 times. There are two guys that aren't going to move. Everybody around that will most likely be plug and play depending on what the matchup is and who's playing in the field, who's DHing on a given day, things like that. So, and there's not a lot of things you can do wrong unless you're just cement Stanton in that 4 spot, no matter what. If you cement Stanton in that 4 spot, just because his name is Giancarlo Stanton, then I'm gonna crush Boone. Because if you're doing that and he's not hitting, but his name is Giancarlo Stanton still, and he's still going out there and not doing the thing, and now Soto's not getting any protection, I got a big problem with that. So I got my eyes on how they handle him. A lot of talk from all the people saying like, he's lighter, best shape of his life, all this bullshit. Again, like, okay, cool. Let's just see what happens. But
You
please,
can't start the
please,
best talk.
please.
No, Scott. The best shape of their life talk starts when pitchers and catchers report. Okay.
Oh, it's already started.
Still December.
Notwithstanding, he's losing weight. He's going to be svelte. He's coming in. He's identified. He's identified the areas that he needs to do. Svelte. Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
eating great. A lot of gefilte fish.
Do you remember? It's Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Do you remember when the Padres came to Yankee Stadium last year and Juan Soto hit a rocket through section 205? That's what he's going to do 25 times at Yankee Stadium this year. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're sitting in section 205 or anywhere near there, bring a glove, bring some padding, because you are going to get line drive missiles into the stands from Juan Soto.
Absolutely. Right around row 11, right where that break is, where it splits. That is prime time. I'm pretty sure that's where you hit it. Right. That is prime time for missiles from Juan Soto. It's going to be fantastic. Like this, I am very excited to watch this man hit.
So the other piece to this trade is Trent Grisham, who we were looking up a little bit before we started recording. He's a defensive first outfielder. He's a left-handed hitter. He's got a couple more years of arbitration. He's 27 years old. He ranks 92nd percentile in outs above average, according to Baseball Savant. His season last year offensively, he had an 87 OPS plus. He struck out a ton, 154 strikeouts in 555 plate appearances. He did walk a decent amount too, because for a 198 batting average, he had a 315 on base percentage. By all accounts,
two true outcome.
Yeah, two true outcome. By all accounts, he is going to come in as the 4th outfielder behind Judge, Soto, and Verdugo. And he's, like I said, a defensive first guy. And I think when you factor in something from Dominguez at some point later down the road, you have completely rebuilt the outfield. I mean, Brian Cashman did say a couple weeks ago when he spoke to the media, I need at least 2 outfielders. I forget the exact quote, but he's like, I need 2, maybe even 3 outfielders. And he's acquired 3 outfielders. Okay.
Yeah, he definitely addressed it. There's no doubt about it. Brian Cashman is, dare I say, back in the good graces. I tweeted out a picture that I
no, he's not done. This roster's not done yet.
And I understand it's not done yet, but he's back in the good graces of making decisions that are positive for the New York Yankees in the moment. They have to address the pitching, because when you look at right now, who's the number 5 starter? Clayton Beater, insert name here. It doesn't matter who it is. It's somebody that's not supposed to be a 5th starter at this point. So they have to go out there, and obviously Yamamoto is the target. But man, is that going to be competitive? And they're talking about $300 million. Steve Cohen's probably going to throw some stupid money at him.
That escalated from $220 million to $300 million so quickly.
Yeah, I think Yamamoto's quote was "Pay me," which, okay.
He seems like a kind of an opposite from Ohtani, because all of the Ohtani stuff is like teams have to be on the hush about their conversations with him, and like, no, you can't say that I'm talking to you. And Ohtani, when he came over from Japan, reports where he didn't want to play in New York because he doesn't want that kind of spotlight on him. Maybe Yamamoto is going to be embracing the bright lights a little bit more, and for good or bad, I don't know.
Yeah, seemingly he wants it. He wants the limelight. He wants the attention, which I think is a good thing. If you're that type of personality and you're embracing that, then there's a good chance that New York can be okay for you. Like you're up for it. It's a good sign, at least I think, for for
You
someone
have to
who can play here.
be authentic and actually mean it though. Like we said, you can't just say you want the pressure. You actually have to relish in the pressure.
Yeah, pressure is a privilege, and you need to identify that as such.
You
But
can't
again, from
flip
what
off
we're hearing,
fans when they're chirping you after your 7.5 ERA, man, in your second start back in late July.
correct. So we'll see what they do, but there are options on the pitching side. Still on the free agency. Like if they lose out to Yamamoto, I think the best thing for us to hope for is that Yamamoto happens soon, whether it's the Yankees or not. Because if it drags on and then all of a sudden you start seeing the free agent class of starting pitching start dropping, then Rodriguez, Erod are just signed with the Diamondbacks, so you're starting to see the pool of pitching in the free agent market dwindle down. So hopefully Yamamoto makes a decision in the near term, and if it's not the Yankees, at least then they have the ability to go out and seek other free agents.
There's a lot of free agent pitching still available. Don't rule out Corbin Burns as well, which was in our GM plans. Like he could still be available on the trade market. And I think
1-year deal fits the mold of what they've been doing. So
the Yankees would still have the prospects, and especially if the Brewers would be looking for some position player prospects that the Yankees could offer for a Burns trade. But I agree, they definitely need another consistent rotation arm behind Cole, and then you can say, okay, we'll get Clark Schmidt as the number 5 starter. Nestor Cortez can hopefully come back and rebound, and then Carlos Rodon has to earn his money.
If Cashman really wanted to, I mean, there is optionality, I think, with depending on how they're still viewed in the market and across other teams. But Pereira and Peraza have some value. At least they do have. There's no place for them to play.
Pereira probably has more value at this point than Peraza.
And there's no place for them to play. Obviously, there could be, because Soto's a 1-year deal, and maybe that's they could still use that as leverage of like, hey, Soto's only a 1-year deal. Like, we do have plans for this guy. So I don't think Soto destroys any leverage that the Yankees would have. Same with Verdugo for Pereira. But you could certainly he could still be very active on the trade market if he wanted to be.
I saw a lot of people in the comments on like our Instagram posts and our Twitter posts just being like, you don't trade prospects away for a 1-year deal. And I'm shocked by anyone saying that about this trade. It's like, did you not watch the team last year? You probably didn't watch the team last year because they were so god awful. But how could you sit there and say this team should not go and acquire Juan Soto with how completely dysfunctional the roster is?
Yeah. Well, was. It's getting less dysfunctional. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no, of course you make the deal. Of course you make the deal. And again, like if you go back down to brass tacks here, and if you're having a problem because of Drew Thorpe, like get your head examined. 2, if you are having your problem because of Michael King, just lean on the fact that he only had 2 years of control. So it's only 1 extra year. And now you're getting a top 3 guy who's 25 years old that you could argue puts the Yankees in a better position now to acquire him or extend him long term. Whereas if he were not on the team, that may be a little bit more difficult. So conversations could be ongoing with it. He's your player now. You can negotiate. You can talk about him. You could do all those things that you could not do. I know the Yankees don't traditionally talk during the season, but they have the ability to, whereas if he were on another team, you do not have the ability to. So I give them a leg up in that sense. They will know everything that he needs and everything that he wants if there's a future with the New York Yankees, and no other team can talk to him in the way that the Yankees can currently. So I think that's a good thing. And yeah, man, come on. Michael King's elbow exploded 2-3 years ago. Exploded. It was brutal.
It was awful. So
and I hope to high heavens it never happens again. And I hope he has a tremendous career with the Padres. I really do. I hope he crushes it in San Diego. All those guys. But this is an absolute no-brainer. And if you're thinking otherwise, you're overthinking it.
I also saw some people equate this like, oh, look what happened when we acquired Stanton. Okay, this is not an equivalent to acquiring
Stanton was on a 19-year contract.
Also, Stanton was at the end of his prime, going to an injury guy who was towards the end of his prime, right? When the Yankees acquired Stanton, he was 29 years old, I think, or 30 years old.
You would qualify him as an injury guy when he was acquired? I mean, the baseball to the face doesn't count.
But he had other injuries
I know, but it wasn't like, yeah, but I wouldn't have qualified him as an injury guy.
Okay, well, all I know is when the Yankees won the 1998 World Series on October 21st, 1998, Juan Soto had yet to be born. Okay, he was born October 25th, 1998. He's 25 years old. Baseball prime is the second half of your 20s. It is 26 to 30 years old. Juan Soto has yet to enter his prime, and he's already a top player in Major League Baseball. Okay, that is
His
the
prime,
player they
his prime
acquired.
might be moved up a little bit just because he's been in the major league since he was 19. But yeah, your point is 100% valid, and they are getting an all-time hitter in his prime. And if it's for 1 year, then I am going to enjoy the 1 year of Juan Soto being in the New York Yankees, you know?
I legitimately hope they sign him to a long-term deal, obviously. But I agree. If he has an MVP type season this year and the Yankees make a deep playoff run and he walks to another team, I'm not crying about that.
And, you know, even if you're not negotiating during the season, guess what? Like, I know Boris likes to take his guys to free agency. Like, that's what he does. He maximizes their contract. But at the same time, Boris and the Yankees, like, there could be an understanding here. Like, okay, if you went to free agency, what are you expecting? Done. We'll pay that. We'll pay that. They have the ability to have those conversations at length right now.
But do you know what's kind of cool about this? The Yankees are test driving a Ferrari. Mm-hmm. Okay? You sign Juan Soto, you're signing him. He's going to get like 13 years. Okay? It's going to be crazy what he gets. You're signing him up for a decade and a half. You get to test drive that to make sure it works in New York.
It's going to work. Like Juan Soto works. Like
I'm 99% sure it's going to work. But what I'm saying is you get to experience it before you buy. That's cool. You don't always get to do that with a player like Juan Soto.
That is 100% true. But you also have to understand, as the Yankees, that once you test drive this, you need to expect that it's going to go well.
Yeah, you don't want to go back to the Honda after you drove the Ferrari.
Right. And you also don't want to negotiate for that car with everybody else after they see the cool car too, because in the Bronx, because if you could play here, you could play, if you could do it here, you could do it anywhere.
Make it here. So I also want to talk a little bit more about Verdugo. So I listened to some Boston radio yesterday afternoon because I just wanted to hear their thoughts on the Verdugo thing. And they were crushing the Red Sox. They were, because this is also at the time when they thought Verdugo might be flipped to San Diego for Juan Soto. So people were like, this is bullshit. 4 years after we trade Mookie Betts, all we're going to get for this is the Yankees are getting Juan Soto, because Verdugo is really the last player that the Red Sox have from that Mookie Betts deal. But no one really seems to be upset that they traded away Alex Verdugo. I think they were done with him in Boston. And we kind of alluded to this on the pod yesterday. Like, he has had some attitude problems. He had run in with Cora, and Cora does butt heads with people. And if there's one thing Aaron Boone doesn't do, he doesn't butt heads with people. He wants to be your best friend if you're a player for him.
You need creamer with your coffee. Like, he's making sure that you get the exact flavor that you need.
And I don't know if that's the right thing for the Yankees, but maybe that's the right thing for Alex Verdugo. Who knows? I guess we'll see there. But I just thought that was interesting that even though the Red Sox are getting basically 3 maybe bullpen arms, they're not upset about trading Alex Verdugo.
Yeah, I saw some quote too, and again, take this with a grain of salt because who knows what's true anymore. But there was something about him being wasn't on the playoff roster for the Dodgers, but he was in the building. He was there. And
wasn't Kershaw, he a rookie? Wasn't he a rookie though?
Yeah, but Kershaw came out and apparently had said, like, get this guy out of the fucking dugout, get him out of the clubhouse. Yeah. Oh, God. So I don't know. He may be the biggest asshole in Major League Baseball. I don't know. Seemingly he's an annoying. He may just be like that annoying, like shut up. He might be one of those, and not just, I don't know, intolerable, but he's going to have to straighten it out because he's coming into a situation where there's a lot of veterans, obviously. Like, this is a different situation for him. He's coming into a team that's run by Aaron Judge, has guys like Rizzo and LeMay who are all business, and now Juan Soto, who's, a generational talent, which gets thrown around a lot in today's world. But if you don't, fall in line, then there's big problems.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Alex Verdugo and your agent, who's he represented by? I don't know
who gives a shit. But he's playing for a contract. He's playing for a contract.
There's no better setup for him going into a free agent year, it's like you're going to be the 7th most important hitter in this lineup. Okay. Just go be pretty good and you're going to get a nice contract this offseason.
Yeah. And you're going to get pitches too.
Just shut up. Don't open your mouth. Just
because nobody wants to see the grill. Nobody wants to see the grill that you have in your mouth. Do the Yankees have a policy against grills, like diamond plated grills?
No,
because I don't know if that exists. So he might come iced out.
So he's had the Amish beard, which is famously no mustache.
Yeah,
but you can have a
there's
mustache.
Like a pencil thin. There's like a really flesh colored.
Does he come in with a mustache? That's the thing. Does he come in with a mustache?
I hope not, because it's going to look really stupid. But he might have like a Paul Wall look, where he comes in with like
Paul Wall, Iceman Paul Wall.
That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting him to come in,
grill stunting like a disco ball.
Yeah, he might come in and just try to rep that. We'll see. And then get laughed out of the clubhouse.
I was gonna say, and then get booed the first time he grinds into.
No, laughed out of the clubhouse. Like get your face out of here until that is gone.
Wow. God. Yeah, I mean, I'm still a little bit cautiously optimistic for Verdugo. I'm obviously ecstatic about Juan Soto. The offseason is not done. They still need to acquire starting pitching, as we said, and maybe some more bullpen depth, although I'm less concerned with the bullpen. Is the position player roster done, though, in your opinion?
No, because I think there's going to be guys moved, and maybe there's some consolidation with what's happening on the infield as far as like again, like Peraza, Cabrera, like you got guys who's the platoon infielder? Is it somebody in house? Is it, they're talking about potentially a reunion with bringing IKF back. So I think that some of those guys might get moved, and I don't know if there's a consolidation for some type of an upgrade in that would, like, again, man, like I would love to see them upgrade some position on the infield in some capacity to have a rover. That would be helpful, because you still have to understand that LeMahieu could get hurt.
Yep.
You can't fully expect him to play a full season. Like, you hope that that's going to be the case, and you can put him in the lineup, but you can't expect him to play every single day at third base. So you do have to have an option for third base if
backup shortstop.
And backup shortstop, yeah.
I also think, as much as Rizzo
and that could be Cabrera.
We hope Rizzo comes back and is great. Like, that's not also a guarantee either. So I think, despite the fact that the infield is crowded, I don't think it's a surefire thing.
Yeah. So I think there's still moves to be made. I think that there's still, and again, like they do have some guys that they can move to upgrade, even in the short term, if that's the case, someone on the major league roster, but pitching is definitely going to be the next thing that they're looking at hard, and Yamamoto obviously is circled. So we'll see.
All right.
Oh, and here's the other thing real quick. Sorry. When I was referring to Verdugo as the fourth outfielder, and that's right where I want him, like, that's still very much in play, because Dominguez, if he comes back late June, July, August, whatever, if he's the guy that we saw and continue, Verdugo's not going to play every single day. That's moving now. It's shifting guys around.
But
Dominguez plays center field, and you have Soto and Judge on the corners. Like,
but in your description right there, Stanton is DHing, and we all know that's not a guarantee. So Juan Soto very easily slots into a DH spot if Stanton's on the IL.
But that still puts Verdugo as the fourth outfielder, and with optionality in the outfield for inflexibility.
No, Verdugo would not be the fourth outfielder in that situation, even if Dominguez is back. It's Judge, Verdugo, Dominguez is the outfield.
Judge, Verdugo, Dominguez.
If Stanton's on the shelf.
Soto. Oh, if Stanton's on the shelf. Yeah.
If Stanton's on the shelf.
You're saying if
Soto,
Stanton's on the shelf.
Yes. Which is, come on. Like, even Brian Cashman himself said is probably going to happen. Injuries are a part of his game.
Yes, that is very, very true. But still, Verdugo is the fourth outfielder at that point. If Stanton's on the shelf, then yes, he's sliding in from the fourth spot into the starting rotation. But he is not a starter if everybody's healthy, if that's the case. But we know as the Yankees go, like, they mix and match lineups all day long. So even if he is the fourth outfielder, he's going to get a lot of run. He's going to get a lot of opportunity to play.
Be interesting to see if they just stick Soto in left field, or if they put Soto in right field and move Judge.
I think right now Judge is going to be the center fielder.
What I'm saying is
everybody's saying,
when in a world in which Soto is. Well, I guess no. If Soto's DHing, then that's not the case. Never mind. Because Soto is not
He's the worst
considered a good
defender.
outfielder.
Yeah.
And right field just being pretty easy. Or you can hide a below average outfielder in right field at Yankee Stadium. So that would be where you'd stick Soto. Because left field's not easy at Yankee Stadium. Left field's pretty big at Yankee Stadium.
No, but if Dominguez is back and he's playing center field and you have Judge, like Judge isn't going to go over and play left.
No. Judge isn't going to play left, but he could play
then,
left.
But then Soto is your left fielder at that point. And you deal
Logan
with
and I briefly
defense.
talked about this. It's like, what if you just go to Aaron Judge right now and be like, you're going to play left field going forward?
I mean, he would do it, but
they did it last year in spring training. Remember, they threw him out there for a few games.
Yeah, but he never got there in an actual spring training game.
No.
Did he?
Yeah.
In
he
a
started,
game he did. Not
he started spring training games
regular
in
season.
left field.
Okay.
The thought was because of Stanton at Yankee Stadium.
Right. Well, now you got that with Soto at Yankee Stadium.
Right, but it looks like Judge is going to play center field and pretty exclusively play center field, at least to start.
Okay.
Well, there's going to be a lot of you're going to see some
a lot of
spot obviously, and then you're going to see Grisham in center field because of the defense.
Well, the question is that are they going to pull Soto for defense? Like, do you pull Juan Soto for defense at the end of games and move Judge to right field?
I think it completely depends on the game situation. If Soto's coming up next inning, no. If Soto just hit last inning, yeah.
But like, I don't think that's a thing that the Padres or the Nationals did. Like, I don't know
he plays
if he's
every
that
day.
level.
I don't
he
think
plays every day. So all right, so Judge is
he's
going to
not
be
the
playing
type of player
center
that
field
you're
until the
removing.
end. Right, like unless you pull Verdugo for defense, but like you can't do that. Like you pulling Judge for defense, like no.
I don't know. I mean, didn't Soto DH a good amount last year?
Yeah, you could just lose the DH.
I feel like most of his games played were DH. I thought for Soto.
Late inning defense is not something I'm worried about right now.
He played 7 games at DH last year.
Oh, never mind.
154 games in left field.
Look,
Never
if we have a late inning DH, I'm sorry, if we have a late inning defense problem on our hands consistently, that means they're winning and they're scoring runs.
The problem last year was early innings offense.
The problem last year was offense. Runs scoring,
offense.
runs coming across home plate.
Last year, Yankees most innings of any team without a run scored. Or excuse me, without a base runner. It was without a base runner.
Cool. What does that mean? Go get bat to ball guys who can get on base.
Juan Soto also played in all 162 games last year.
Yes, he did. Which I absolutely love.
Availability is the best ability. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up. Double feature this week because of the big news. We'll be back at you again next Wednesday.